Hello and welcome to another Zero Bucks Given podcast. I think this is number 16, if not 17. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the previous ones. They say life comes at you pretty fast. Yesterday, I had a go at a man for what some might say his fantastical claims of house prices in Dublin, among other things. But in fairness, you have to give the man credit where credit is due. He's willing to put his money where his mouth is. And he's here in the studio with me tonight. Joe Doyle, welcome to the Zero Bucks Given podcast.
Thank you for having me. What a pleasure to fly all the way out here to the west of Ireland.
Go away, the city of the tribes. You're in a different county this time than you were in the last time. That we might get into later on, but this is a fresh start.
Okay.
Some will have known Joe for a recent podcast that he'd done down here in the West, and some might say it got a little bit heated. Some people were taking Joe's side. Some people were taking a different person's side. We'll start a fresh slate. From the knowledge that I have of the building trade, I'm going to question Joe. But first, I want to know everything about Joe Doyle from the beginning. Jesus. I'm talking growing up.
Yeah, you know, I hate when people ask that because I'm like, oh, fucking hell, what am I going to say here now? Like, you know?
Yeah. Dublin. Born. Bred.
Clondalkin.
Yes.
Barely moved outside Clondalkin.
Okay.
In my 41 years on this planet. Still don't have much need to move outside Clondalkin. Built a business in Clondalkin. Built a family in Clondalkin. You know, got a missus from the far side of the park.
Right. What's your views of Dublin as a city?
As a city, I think the part of Dublin where I grew up, like it's different now. Like we used to joke with our mates, and it was kind of a kind of a black joke.
Okay.
Best place in the world to grow up, right here. The only catch is the fucking survival rate is not great.
Okay.
That was the catch. That was the snag, like, you know.
Okay.
Because it wasn't, like, you know.
Survival of the fittest.
I don't know if it was the fittest. Like, just too many bad things happen to too many people, you know.
Okay.
And then and then you get wiser to these things.
Yeah.
As you go on, you know. And
I've had this is a running theme on this Zero Bucks Given podcast. I've had Chris Connolly on and Jen Healy on, and both came from parts of Dublin that maybe they weren't the most lucrative at the time.
Yeah, and I think you come like I genuinely am kind of feeling a little bit embarrassed talking about it now. Like,
no,
you know,
don't.
Not that I'm embarrassed where I come from. I'm very proud where I come from.
Yes,
but I don't complain. I don't take a victim mentality, and I'm very lucky that I've survived. You know, but people become acclimatized to it. You know,
right.
And I got a phone call on my sister one day, and like the penny had dropped for her. This was in the last couple of years, you know. And she's a very calm person usually, and she's like effing and blinding out. That's it. I fucking hate this place. I'm sick of it. Like, what's wrong? I'm after going over to take Ma out for the day. I can't get on the road because there's a bomb there, you know.
There's a what?
A bomb there. I was like, all right. And the neighbour has died, and you can't get the neighbour. The funeral car in and out. The whole road's blocked off. I'm sick of it. I had enough of this. I want out of it and all, you know. Now, that, I'm sure they say that stuff can happen anywhere, like. But, like, that was me thinking, yeah, I know.
Well, it's not everywhere you'll find a bomb.
The frequency of things like this is too high.
Okay.
In that part of the country. What would you say? It's higher in that part of the country than anywhere else.
Well, that might actually feed into some of the questions for later on.
Yeah.
So you've built your business.
Yeah.
Your portfolio. How did you even start? And what age are we talking? You're getting into this building game.
I'll say a few things now, and people don't believe him. I started saving from my first house when I was 15.
Okay.
I learned how to play Monopoly, and I wanted to keep it going. Like.
Okay.
So the whole story with me was I worked with my dad, who was a small builder, and I served my apprenticeship as a block layer with him. And the minute I finished my apprenticeship, I said, nah, this is not for me. Like, and I just became a small builder. And I built a couple of houses for myself, kept them, rented them out. Probably should have sold them. Didn't. This was like when they were cheap, and then they got really expensive, and then they got cheap again. So I went from bricklayer to a small builder. And then I learned something, how to become a profitable small builder. Okay. And I just stuck at that.
Well, I know you make it sound like there isn't much of a leap there between going from just an apprentice bricklayer to a small builder. But that's a big leap, especially when you're that young. It takes balls to build a house, and from my knowledge in building, it just doesn't happen like that. You need some sort of not just building knowledge, you need business knowledge as well.
You do like in fairness, like I had the best work ethic. Work ethic was it wasn't like it was that was it. It was like you went to school or you went to work, and there was never like a question of do you want to go to work because you're not in school today. It's like, oh, you're not in school, right? Put your worker on, and that was it. And I was probably like, I don't know, 13, 14 years of age before I realised I actually don't need to go to work today. Oh, I'm sure I'm allowed to say no,
Yeah.
But the old lad just instilled that in me, like.
Yeah. Well, a work ethic means an awful lot.
Most important thing, like, you know, because like the guy who wants it more will usually achieve it quicker, or be more likely to achieve it than the guy who has the brains to do it, And a guy.
Well, it helps to have both.
Oh, it does, yeah. But like a fella says to me before, you can make a hungry fella sharp, but you can't make a sharp fella hungry. So if you get a fella there who doesn't know what he's doing, but he wants to succeed, he's more likely to succeed than the guy who has the brains but doesn't bother.
It's kind of like if you're good in school, it'll only bring you so far. You have to study.
Yeah.
And you can be a little bit not as intelligent, but if you're more academic, you could go further, if that makes sense. If you're willing to put in the time and the effort. But you need a lot of principle for that, a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
To be there. So you're talking 15 and 16 years of age. I understand the ethos of it. What decade are we talking here?
So I was born in 84, so 2000.
Yeah. So it's okay. Yeah. You're coming into a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember when my father, just a little anecdote here, when my father was plastering, and similar to you, when I was good in school, got to junior cert, got a great junior cert, just by using my brains, I was missing a lot of time off school, mentioning with Martin Maloney and others, to name but a few. And but I still got a good junior cert purely because I had brains to do it. I went out working that summer. Worst thing academically, it was the worst thing that I done, because I got used to the money. We were just coming into a lovely time. The boom was just starting off. The late 90s, it was kicking in, heading towards 2000, and I was probably making as much money then as I am now. That was, but when I went back to school, I was like, I don't want to go to school. I was making money. So in one way, I learned how to work, and another way, I kind of gave up the schooling. But listen, I'm not complaining now either. I've dealt with the cards I was given, and that's how you work it. So you're working away in Dublin, always in Dublin.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're turning a profit.
Yes.
A good profit.
So
explain how it
we'll
works.
Reference the age there.
Yes.
So 2000 was an apprentice. 16 finished 2004, 2005ish. Set up my business on the 19th of November 2007. The crash happened 2008.
Yes.
Everybody was crying. I was crying. I'd bought probably 10 houses at this stage, between building a few and buying a few. And I stopped buying more houses because I just couldn't add up how people were paying that sort of money.
Okay.
So I put my focus towards business. So I'd previously spent 5 years building up these 10 properties at the time. Then I focused my attention towards the business.
But can you see where people are trying to make this logical? Like to get to the thin house, you needed to have some sort of backing or money. You can't just build a house.
Well, I'll tell you a story how I done it. So I'm a firm believer in just ask questions.
Yeah.
Just ask people.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that if a fella thinks you're an absolute wanker, right, and you go over and ask him a question, he'll actually think more of you.
Yeah.
But if you go over and tell him something,
Okay.
he'll confirm he's a wanker.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So ask, and it's very important to ask. And
what's the saying? If someone keeps telling you who they are, believe them.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, the first house we bought, you could get a 92% mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So a house was 120 grand. You get a
Mm-hmm.
92% mortgage. You needed 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been saving 3 years at this stage, from 15 to 18. I
Okay.
had my 10 grand. The second house then, they needed a 20% deposit. We're getting into the details here, so I don't know
Yes.
if your listeners would be into this. But
No,
this,
no,
this is,
get into it. I know this because I got a 100% mortgage.
I've got, yeah, I've done them all now.
My
all
first one, yeah.
Anyways, I went into the bank. How do I get a mortgage here? I've got a house, I want another one. You need a 20% deposit.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to happen in a justifiable time frame. So I'm like 18 years old now, you know. He said, but what do you work at? I says, I'm a builder. He says, well, if you build a house, we will give you 80% of the site cost and 100% of the build cost. Okay, so now I'm getting 100% of the build cost, 80% of the site cost. My buy-in is only 20% of the site cost. Site cost is 50 grand. So I'm in the game again for another 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the limit you can lend out? We can lend out anything that's based on your income. Okay, well, what's your limit? Well, I'm allowed to lend 160 grand. After that, I have to send it up. Okay, no problem, man. You go in, you say hello to this guy a few times. You put in an application. You make sure your application is less than 160 grand, so that it doesn't have to get sent up. And we got the mortgage. And included in that is an extra 10 grand to get the next mortgage. Because I'm the builder, I'm building it cheaper than the other fella would build it, you know.
Okay.
So every time we done a deal, it was setting me up for the next deal.
Okay.
And that's what I'm always telling like my clients, like they're saying like, I want to go in and do. I was like, look, you don't do deal number one unless it strengthens your case for deal number two.
Okay.
Because if you don't do it in that format, it's going to be too slow. So like, I say this to people, sometimes they believe me, sometimes they don't. What? I'm on a mission to make 100 million quid. That's it. That's my plan. That's my mission. Next 7 years, I've got part of it mapped out, you know.
Okay.
And everybody will have, well, everybody should have a plan to make their version of their Everest, their 100
Okay.
million, 10 million, 1 million, whatever. And what I always say to guys is, don't think of in terms of, is it possible or is it not possible? It is possible for everyone. However, based on Johnny over here's earning potential or earning capacity at the moment, it could take him 300 years to get £1 million. But it's still possible. It's just that he's obviously not going to last 300 quid,
Okay.
300 years. So we don't need to ask ourselves, is it yes or no? We just need to see how we can speed it up.
Okay.
Speed it up a little bit more, speed it up a little bit more, speed it up a little bit more, you know. Now, I know the question on the tip of everyone's tongue here is, what about this 500 a day? I can explain that if you
Yeah.
want. But my early days was...
Yeah, we'll get into that eventually.
eventually, yeah.
I know that the logic of what you're saying, because I've had I was young when I had my first house, built it in County Roscommon as well, a beautiful house in Ballinameen, but that was to build my house. I used that one to build my house. So
Yeah.
I've had a bit of experience in this.
Yeah.
But I do know that the book has to stop somewhere eventually as well. I mean, you'll only get away with that for so far. Plus, as well, I made a few bad decisions outside of the building that helped me get rid of the houses that I was involved with. But anyways, apart from that, I built the first one to build a better version of the first one
Yes.
at home,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And that was
Step up.
a
from
step
one
up,
to the
yeah.
next one,
So that was going to be my family home.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way. Relationship breakups and whatnot. But anyway, that's for another podcast.
But
So
these are
I-
life, these are factors that
Yes,
we just have to get on
100%.
with,
So
yeah.
this is what I'm saying. For all that to work, you need a great, an unbelievable work ethic. You need to be able to talk or nick like a jockey's bollocks to go into the bank and get the money for starters. You need a lot of luck. You need a lot of things to work right.
Yeah.
So you do. Do you understand why people question the
What
logic
I've
of
said,
it?
yeah. But they're only taking half the story
Yeah,
because
okay.
it didn't work out for me.
Okay.
It was a fucking disaster.
Okay. Okay.
It was an absolute, unmitigated, horrendous disaster.
Okay.
I almost ended up bankrupt. It took
Yes.
me like 3 years to figure myself out,
Okay.
you know. There's basic business and investing fundamentals. They've been around 100 years or more, just to pick a number. 2008 turned them on their head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All these things were gone, like, you know. So, like, I was like a millionaire by the time I was 23,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I was 27, it was all gone.
Right.
Fucking hell. That was
Is that the downturn?
yeah,
Okay.
that was the downturn. But the business kept me going,
Okay.
like, kept me going financially through that.
When you
know?
say the business,
So I had a building company, a little small. So basically, what I was doing was like I started saving for my first house when I was 15.
yes,
I'm still saving for a house now.
okay,
Like what people don't understand as a property investor, they think that you're just sitting on buckets and buckets of cash and all this
Yes.
sort of stuff. It's not. What you're doing is you're on a seesaw between having access to a certain amount of deals and having access to a certain amount of money. The seesaw's way down with money sitting in the bank. Either you own the money and it's doing nothing, or you've borrowed the money, you're paying interest, it's sitting there doing nothing, and you've not got enough deals. So if you've got 500 grand, 100 grand, £1,000,000 to spend, when you go to the market looking for a deal, it's highly unlikely you'll find the exact quantity of deals you want. You'll always find one plus one more. So now you have a problem. You're short of another 500 grand, another £1,000,000, and you have to go back and you're constantly juggling this. So like that's the game I'm playing, and what
Yeah.
I'm doing at all times is every time I do a deal, I'm building the rent roll.
okay,
And what I was doing is, it's a term I use all the time, is you use your business as the vehicle for wealth creation. So I started saving when I was 15, £100 a week. Now, I know people won't believe that, but listen, I
Yeah,
started
okay.
saving £100 a week when I
Okay.
was 15, right? And when I hear people saying they'd like to create something for future years or a nest egg or something, but they don't have the money, it's kind of bollocks, like, because it's not a money thing, it's a mindset thing. Because you could, if you could save something, you might only be saving a tenner a week, but you can save something.
right,
And then when you're saving a tenner a week, we can figure out how we can save 20 a week. Now, I know and you know, saving a tenner or 20 quid a week or whatever small amount of money a week, it's not practical, but it gets you into the mindset of this is possible. And now we start figuring out
I
how
understand. I understand the mindset, and I used to be a great saver, but then life gave me a kick in the balls. So
it kicked you harder than your level of
yeah,
discipline.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I know the idea of saving it like that, and it's a great idea. But sometimes then eventually you might have a little bit saved up, but you have to drop in. You have to drop into that. Again, you need a lot of luck to go your way, so that you don't go into that reserve. So you need to have buffers left, right, and center for certain events in life.
It's like in my head, it's like building a pack of cards.
Yeah,
But like every time you get to a certain level, somebody comes out and sprays them all with glue,
yeah.
and then you go again.
Okay.
They spray them all with glue.
Right, okay.
And if you don't get to that first level where it's sprayed, where you've got,
Yeah.
something unencumbered, or you got a bit of cash there or something, and it falls, fucking everything falls.
Yes.
And it's hard, like,
Yeah.
to pick yourself back up,
Yeah.
when that happens, like, because it happened to me, and like, I kind of didn't want to talk about it, just like growing up, like at the time, if you were going to go bankrupt in Ireland, it was 12 years.
Yeah.
Couldn't trade for 12 years.
Okay.
And the option was just to go to England, and you're back in 18 months,
Yeah.
And I had loads of friends
I
went
think in
on.
America, it's not even, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just start up again tomorrow.
Yeah, I had like loads of friends who I grew up with, and they went off on government holidays for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, against their, just because their life decisions. But like, I always felt that I wouldn't subject my family to me not being around because of the activities I got involved in. So I kept myself on the straight and narrow. And then I'm like, fucking hell, now I have to go to England to become bankrupt and miss the family for 12 months, 18 months, whatever. And I was just too stubborn to do it.
Yes.
Like, no, fuck it. I'm going to fix this, And I managed to fix it, And I remember like going in and out with the bank and talking to them, and I was hoping they'd let me off the hook. And
Yeah.
they're like, no. And I asked them one day, I was like, why will you not, like, you're letting people off the hook left, right and centre. And she said, your earning potential is much greater than most of them people that you're sitting in that room with, And I was like, wow, holy shit. So this is a woman from the bank there to chastise me and give out to me and
Yeah.
extract money from me that I owe the bank, and I do owe it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here with there's a conveyor belt of people going in and out to the bad bank
Yeah.
section,
Yes.
And she's telling me, no, your earning potential is much greater than theirs. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, I'm a fucking bricklayer from Clondalkin here.
Yeah.
And these were like well-suited, well-dressed people. And she obviously seen some kind of traits in me that I didn't, and they wouldn't let me off the hook. And they
Right.
helped me renegotiate
I
terms.
do know one thing from my experience, and from what you just said there, is when you are in these positions, if there's any advice I can give anyone who is in a position with the banks, is communicate with them. Do not bury your head in the sand. It's the worst thing you can do. It's going to fester in yourself, and give you mental health problems and depression and anxiety. And the banks will work with you if you nip it in the bud from the beginning. If so, take my advice, make the phone call, answer the letter.
Yeah.
I wish I had done it a lot earlier when I got into trouble. So you're in the bank. They're not letting you off the hook. What's
Uh-huh.
next?
We had to renegotiate,
Okay.
you know, and they extended the terms. They basically changed the terms to make it possible that I could pay the loan back, which basically meant I was kind of like a slave to them for the next 40 years, no, 35 years,
Okay.
because these properties weren't going to be worth any money. So I had to collect all the money every month, give it all to them, collect it all every month, give it to them.
So this is you're renting these out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm trying to keep my head above water here. But like, I knew that, like, you know, say it was 10 properties was the issue at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I knew 10 properties was a lot to me at the time, but it was nothing in comparison to what I could achieve. And I also felt that the properties were going to bounce back. So like, these were properties that, you know, we had paid or cost us 200k, say,
Mm-hmm.
to either buy them or build them. They were now worth 80, and today they're worth 3 to 350. You know.
Okay.
But I thought, like, the best way out is to buy more houses, like, you know.
Okay.
And the confidence was gone from the market,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody would buy anything. But I was trying to take the emotion out of it. Look at it logically. It's 160 grand to build a house at that point in time. It is 80 to buy the house as it stands on the site, done. This doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start, when I stopped,
Well, it was a
buying-
buyer's market at the time, and it is
Yeah.
it is a circle.
It's always a circle.
It's always a circle.
but I stopped buying at 10 because I was like, this just doesn't make sense, right? What people were saying, like, it was a mad frenzy. Like, people were jumping over each other, and then things dropped and nobody was buying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this doesn't make sense, because if things drop in Liffey Valley, it's called a sale. If they drop in the housing market, it's a recession. You
Yes.
know.
Now you've mentioned figures there, and from my experience, and it's even in the West, like 80,000, 160,000 houses in Dublin. It's a long as long as and I worked in Dublin as well. It's a very very long time since there was houses
You're
160,000 in
talking
Dublin.
2010, 2011 here.
Yeah.
You know. So like, my first round, if you like.
I understand there might be some houses. Explain to me exactly how you get a house for 100, or where and what condition it
Now
would be in.
or back then?
Back then, for starters.
So the cheapest house that I bought back then was I bought one for 38 grand, which is crazy.
Okay.
I sold it then for 220. I bought one for 45 grand. Bought one for 55 grand. Like, crazy amounts of money. Like, people didn't understand. But you see, there's a term in the property space, right, called specialised local knowledge.
Okay.
I grew up in Clondalkin.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an affluent part of the city.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an affluent part of the country. It's a bit better now, like, you know. There's not many people doing what I do. There was not many people doing what I was doing in them areas back then,
Okay.
where now they're getting in there, like, you know.
But also, people
Yeah.
are going to say as well. You're talking about areas, and no offense to Dublin, or because I absolutely love Dublin. Some of them you would need.
You have to have your wits about you.
Your wits about you. Some of them you'd want like a bulletproof vest with the house.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you see, the people that are living in them are the people I grew up with.
Yeah.
They know me. They're grand. We're cool.
Yeah.
You know, no one else will give them a chance.
Okay.
I'll give my people a chance.
Okay.
You know, and we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and like, well, people are living a certain type of lifestyle and they're happy out, like, full term on the scratcher, some of them.
Yes. But
Grand.
is it hard to collect rent?
No, because the government pays it all.
Oh.
Like, I don't collect any rent off tenants.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like, every time I see somebody putting a comment on any of my social media, oh, it's scumbag landlord, I'm like, you haven't a fucking clue.
Okay.
Every cent of my rent comes from the government.
Okay. Okay.
And if I wasn't collecting the rent from the government for those people, they would struggle to find somewhere to live.
Okay.
So-
So in a way, you're providing accommodation for maybe people that would find it hard to get into other areas in Dublin.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's my core speciality.
That's your bread and butter.
That is it. And people say property, and it's So many, like me and you can be property investors living
Yeah.
in the same street and never do the same type of deal.
Okay.
Like my thing is we call it fill and forget. So if you the format is if you buy a house and you rent it to, we'll just say Mary. Mary has 2 young kids. Mary does never have the belief in her head that she will buy a house herself. She will stay in that house until she gets what she calls her forever house from the council, which council lists
Forever
now
house from the council.
yeah, are like fucking 10 plus 15 years.
Okay.
Like the first house I bought when I was 18, the tenant moved out of that house about 6 months ago. She got her forever home, and she moved into that maybe 1 year after I got it.
Okay.
So like these people are like the best tenants in the world because I'm like, listen, you know, you get a phone call, can I change the what? Listen, that's your home. It's my house, it's your home, do as you wish.
Do you ever, if in these houses, does anything ever go wrong? Like
Oh yeah,
crime?
everything, you name it.
Has any of them ever been damaged?
Yes.
Yes.
Name one thing and I'll say yes to it.
Yes.
Just name some.
Fires?
Yes.
Okay. So
Sorry, hold on. Not the house on fire.
Yeah.
But the yard was
Okay,
set on
okay.
fire. Yeah.
So is it on, is an onus on you to repair?
Yeah.
And that costs you money?
Yes.
So that's a loss.
Yeah. On
Okay,
that property
okay.
in that month.
Have you ever had to evict anyone?
Yeah.
Because of that? Yeah.
Yeah. They
Or-
usually go like.
Okay. Okay.
But like,
have you any juicy stories about any of your houses being rented?
see, this is the thing. Like, see, like I don't like to talk out of school. Or,
Yeah,
or
but you
stuff
don't
like
have to
that, but,
mention
like,
any names.
Yeah, well, actually, like I remember, this is just one thing sticks in my head. Right, I had this one house before, and there was this tenant that lived there. It was like, you know, a house in town knocked into flats, and she rings me. It was like a Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I didn't take the call straight away. She kept ringing. I answered the phone. Joe, it's so yeah. What's wrong? There's a man outside with a gun. I'm like, okay, right. Like, is it a police or is he a criminal, right? And she goes, hold on, I ask him. And she comes back in and she goes, he's a policeman, he's raiding the flat downstairs. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, I'm not going to ask him. Like, you're not going to ask a fella, we're just going to stay in,
Okay.
like, you know. But that always sticks in my head. Your woman was like, she was lovely, but she was nuts. Like, but there's loads of things has happened.
Okay.
Like everything you can imagine
So
happened. Like,
these are probably areas that a lot of landlords wouldn't even dream of operating in.
yeah. See,
Okay.
look,
So you're taking a risk there too.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, if you do it right and you calculate the risk.
Okay.
So if you have one house and one tenant trashes that house, that's 100% of your house is trashed by 100% of your tenants. Sounds horrific, like, you know. You know, and if that happens once every 10 years, that's, you know, 12. So it's a 1 in 120, you know. If you've got 10 houses, you know, the more you have, the less likely it is to happen. The more you have, the more of a volume of repairs and maintenance and things going wrong will happen. But the percentage of it actually happening will be lower, like.
Okay.
So, like, it's mad because, like, you know, we live in a world of social media, right? And you're paying attention to what people are saying. Some people will say, scumbag landlords making a fortune. Okay, whatever, right? Some people say, oh, you shouldn't be buying property. You can't make it money. Whatever. You know? It's like, I have a really deep level of knowledge about a very small scope of the market.
Okay.
And that works for me.
Just off that, have you ever dealt with property outside of Dublin?
Not really. It's just once off buying a couple of houses dotted around the country, tie
Okay.
them up and sell them, like, you know.
Okay.
But it's not really worth a hassle, like, you know.
So that's a different market. Turning them over and selling them, not
yeah,
not
and
to
it's,
rent them
look,
out.
I've done it like plenty of times, like,
Yeah.
you know. But it's not what I mean. Like,
Okay.
So every time I do a deal, I'm like, my grandchildren can collect rent on this property now.
Okay.
You know, so like I'm 20 years in the game, which is mad now. So, you know, before long, all those properties will be paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring the children in and you say, now listen, here's the rules. Just fucking mind the tenants, mind the houses.
Yes.
Don't put any mortgages on them. Live well.
Okay.
Add 1 to it a year or 2 to it a year.
Okay.
Something
It's
like
a very
that.
privileged position to be in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I had a couple
And I
of...
know, and no doubt you've worked for it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like, and like I like my missus just, she's very understanding. She just lets me walk, like,
Okay.
you know, and
Well, that's another thing. You kind of have a perfect storm of being able to do this because you need all that for it to work. You
oh,
need a very
100%, you know. So she lets me walk. She doesn't have any understanding of what's going on in a granular level. That suits her. That suits me. And we've had a few major things go wrong on us on different stages where, like, because basically what you're doing is you're taking a lump of money that you've either earned or borrowed, and you're putting that money into an asset, which is swapping it into a trickle of money back. And you can get the lump of money back at any time,
yes,
but the trickle then stops.
yes,
But the trick is to live off the trickle.
yes,
And like I was saying to her there a couple of weeks ago, I was like, Linda, like, if we just fix the next few things that we have going on, I was like, the money that's coming in now should never ever stop. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, see all them hours that I've worked for them 20 years. Well, that's building up to this
Yes,
point now.
they're-
So
they're
now,
paying their way
and
now.
she's like, really, really? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, we'll see. Like, and she's just like, well, can we go spend that?
Well,
Like, relax,
she's
you know?
very understanding.
Yeah, she doesn't understand business, and she doesn't need to, and she doesn't have to.
Yes,
But she just lets me do my thing, which is the most important. And
Okay.
she's an absolute superhero to the kids, you know.
yeah, fantastic, and you're lucky to have that.
Absolutely.
Very to get an understanding woman is a very lucky thing.
Yes.
Now we'll address the elephant in the room. What caught my attention recently was your claim that you can buy a house in Dublin for under 300 or 300,000 or under
3 to 350.
3 to
is
350.
the number now. Yeah.
Ready to rock house.
Would you like to see the property price?
Well,
register records?
I've seen a lot of videos that you've done recently because you were questioned on it, and I have seen the proof that you've put up that there was houses. Now some of them are out in Balbriggan and whatnot. You're as
Yeah.
well off, in my opinion, you're as well off in Bundoran as Balbriggan. You're that
Right,
far
no,
out
no,
of Dublin.
no, that is you without localised knowledge.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Would you like some Clondalkin examples?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I have a few on the phone there.
Okay,
Shall I show them?
yeah.
Perfect.
Because like you get a lot of, no more than myself, a lot of people commenting saying that you're waffling a bit or spoofing a bit, and but also you have your supporters as well. I will give you that.
Right, so we've got one in Ballymun, one in Ballyferma here, one in North. So there's 3 that was sent to me today, just when they knew I was coming down here.
Okay,
Right, so there's sold 303, 2 bed.
okay,
Sold 2 bed, 281. Sold 2 bed, Ballyferma, Ballymun, Balbriggan.
the claim is it's a very niche market as well. You're talking about not very, we'll say, maybe sought after areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, ex-council estates.
Ex-council estates.
No, sorry, council estates, ex-council houses.
Okay.
That's the gig, yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, in my view, the wise man will ask questions
Okay.
as opposed to shoot it down.
Right.
Maybe the whole 6-7 thing got into someone's head, and that's why they
Yeah.
were just stuck with that number.
Okay, I never
you know?
got into that 6-7 thing.
You know,
Oh, the 6-7,
600,000.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I'm not paying that, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
look,
that's probably a three bed house in a nice area in Dublin. You're probably talking that amount of money.
yeah, but that wouldn't be a good rental
Okay.
because
Okay.
because the challenge that you have there is that the rent in them areas is only marginally more expensive than the rent in my areas,
Okay.
and the pro rata, you're better off in my
Okay.
area.
So you're talking business.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
the
this
rental
is it,
business.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, but you can understand why people will question that when they hear 280 in Dublin, 300,000 in Dublin, because they're
I don't mind people questioning stuff,
Yes.
but when they make statements that they don't
Okay,
know what they're
okay.
talking about,
okay.
it doesn't reflect on me. It
One
reflects
of the
on them.
questions that came in was,
Yeah.
how do you deal with so much? I don't know if they use the word hate online.
Yeah.
Yeah, does it affect you?
Does it affect me? Nah, like it you have to have a certain mindset
Yeah. Okay.
to think of, like, you know, we're talking property here.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I've got another really successful business from online.
Yeah.
So is the juice worth the squeeze on that end? Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, it requires a certain mindset. I understand entirely why people get bothered. It's not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of them. It was a bit difficult the weekend. It was my daughter's birthday.
Okay.
My 2 daughters'
Happy birthday.
I didn't want to wish them happy birthday on Instagram
Yes.
because I felt all the people who were out trolling me
Yes.
would have attacked
I
them.
understand this.
And it's a really special day in our house because my youngest daughter was born on my eldest daughter's 18th birthday.
Oh,
the
does she
two
have
of
the same birthday? Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
5th of Feb. Brilliant. We love it, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it,
Yeah.
And it's like I think I'm more happy with it than them,
Yeah.
But I had to make a decision not to wish them happy birthday on that day.
Oh yeah, I am the same.
Yeah.
I cannot put any family events up,
Yeah.
birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that. I am very conscious of that because for the majority of people that will be wishing well and whatnot, there are an element of people that are very like nefarious.
Well, yeah, exactly. And look, this is our gig. We're online. We're putting ourselves out there. Me and you would know how to handle that
Yeah.
to a certain degree, but
Yeah.
we definitely, it's not fair. It's not right of me or you or anybody like me or you to expect our family to.
Yes,
to be able to handle it, so.
100%. And I'm sure sometimes they're like, well, why didn't you mention that online? And I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
that it is literally a security risk.
Yeah, and like even there, like I know when I go out, like people are looking at me the whole time, and half the time they're looking at me, and half the time they're not, and I think they are,
Yes.
So that's affected how I behave in public,
Yeah.
And when what's that fucker looking at me? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus, I keep forgetting. Like,
Oh, you will, yeah.
And then you're
it is
learning again.
It is a cross to bear, and
Yeah.
you can let yourself get paranoid with
Yeah.
it. Now, I seen another claim that you made, and like I'm fascinated by this, is the making the €500 a day.
Yes.
Explain it like I'm a 6-year-old child.
Well, I've brought a book down for you.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
it's all written in the book. I've written the book on it.
Yes.
The last chapter of the book takes it step by step.
Okay.
My next book is called Getting to 500 a Day, just to
Right.
even drill a home there
Okay.
with people, So
Where can you get this book?
you can get it on my website or on
Okay.
Amazon or anything like that.
Okay,
It's there. You wouldn't have that one,
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I'll
audio's
take
better.
one, yeah.
The audio's better. You
Okay.
So,
Is it you that's talking on the audio?
absolutely.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. You have to put up with a fucking Dublin accent.
Yeah.
for 2 hours, don't you?
Listen,
The weirdest thing in the world was
put up with worse.
yeah. The weirdest thing for me was listening to my own audio.
Yes.
So I was listening to it going for a run one day. It was the weirdest thing ever. And then I was listening to it going to sleep because I wanted to make sure everything was
Yeah.
correct
Yeah,
on
of
it,
course.
And I kind of nodded off going to sleep. Kind of nodded off listening to it, and I woke up and I could hear myself.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I hear a voice in my head all this blatant time, but I could hear it in my ears and all. So, that's a strange one. But yeah, so go on, ask me the question and I'll tell you.
Well, I absolutely hate the sound of my own voice. So when Ethan is asking me to listen back to podcasts and pick out clips for reels, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus, I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 500, explain it to us without giving away the book.
No,
if that
like
makes sense.
I'm see the key thing is anything that I know,
Yeah.
I give it away for free.
Okay.
Simple as that. Now, if you want me to help you implement it, well, then that's where you'll cross the dollar line or the euro
Okay,
line and you'll
yes,
have to pay.
okay.
So I will tell anybody anything they want to know that I know for free. And many times people will ask me questions and I won't answer it because if I don't know what I'm talking about,
Okay.
I'm not just spouting off,
Right.
And I'll give you a little kind of philosophy on that. Back in the day, when, say, the 70s, the prized possession in the family home was the set of Britannica encyclopedias. Everybody's granny had them. They were like £2,000 or whatever.
Yes.
And you were doing a school project, and your dad said, "We go down to Nanny's and get the encyclopedia." So
They used to come around
sell them,
and
knock
sell
on the
them and
door.
knock on the door.
yeah. So if you think of it this way, back then there was a shortage of information, so you could get money for information, right? Nowadays it's the opposite. We are swimming in information, right? And people will not pay for information, but they will pay for the implementation of the information. But the problem is, when you tell a fella go down the road and turn left, there's 10 people saying go down the road and turn right, and they don't know what way they should be going.
Yes.
So that's why it's like sometimes people need help,
Okay.
So look, it's not that we're hiding any secrets. I've got an operating system for the small business. It is called the Make or Break operating system, and that's how you get to the point where you can make 500 quid, clear an absolute profit a day
In the building
as a tradesman.
as a tradesman.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was a tradesman and a good one at that. I mightn't have been. I was very particular. Anything that I done, it was done right,
Mm.
to my detriment.
Yeah.
Many times because I was slow. I would rather spend an extra day or two at something.
Yes.
So, but business wise, as like my father was a great worker, great workers, but business heads
Yeah. And
just
that's the
weren't
same with
in
my
it.
own lad. My own
Yes.
dad.
Yeah.
He does work for us from time to time.
Yeah.
Like, same thing. So look, let's say somebody, and this is great that we get a chance to have a discussion
Yeah.
here, right? So what I'm talking about here is something that I've done myself for years, and I've been teaching for 8 years. So this is not like potential or possible. This is what I do every day of the week,
Mhm.
right? So let's say that you're the most skeptical man in the world. Okay, I don't want you coming at it from the point of view of being the most enthusiastic, because they're usually a bad client anyways, because
Okay.
when the enthusiasm wears off,
Okay.
you see them for who they really are.
Yes.
So you get a guy that's calm, maybe in a little bit of pain because he's pissed off at the business, he feels overworked and unrewarded. He's the
Okay.
right guy.
Okay.
Because if you get a guy that's making no money and is cool with it, he's no good to me. If you get a guy that's making a little bit of money, but he knows, not that even that he wants more, but he knows he's capable of more.
Okay. He's aspirational.
Yeah, he's the key guy, except someone who knows, who believes they already know it. So you need to get the right guy. And then here's how we go, right? So look, you know my story. I used to be a bricklayer. We've built up 20 plus million of a property portfolio, right? So obviously I know something to get from where I am, where I started to where I am today, right? So if you're the most skeptical tradesman in the world in any part of the country, do you think that so be skeptical, right? Do you think I can get you to 500 quid a day?
I would nearly pack up this whole thing if I thought that you could get me to 500.
Right, so say no. Say
Yeah,
no.
no,
Right,
no.
devil's advocate here, right?
Yeah.
Right, so Stevie, do you think I can get you to 500 quid a day?
Absolutely not.
Right, okay. You're aware of all the different things I've managed to do in my business, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Do you think I can get you to 500 quid for one day? Do you think I can get you to the point where you can earn 500 quid profit in one day?
Maybe once in a blue moon.
Right, once. Okay.
Okay.
How long do you think it will take me to get you to that point?
We could get lucky.
Pick a day. Pick a time frame.
I'd say 6 months.
Right, okay, just too long. Okay, right. Well, do you think I could get you to it in 1 month?
I'd love to.
Right,
I'd
okay.
love to think you could.
Right, let's get you to 500 quid profit one day.
In one day.
For just one day.
Yeah.
I only need to get you profit for 500 quid one day,
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah.
And
Meaning that I can. Meaning
You can
I
start
start work at
Yeah.
8 o'clock in the morning. From blank.
yeah.
And by the time 5 or 6 comes in the evening, or 7 even, I'll even work till 8.
Yes.
For €500.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. Now, you may be bringing lads in to help you. It's not just your labour on that
Okay.
specific day. You might be making a bit on the materials. There's a few different
Okay.
factors that will come into play here, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get you to 500 for one day.
Okay.
And from today to the first 500 is 30 days, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got a plan, right? Now, Stevie, on day 30, do you think I can get you to your next 500 in less than 30 days?
If you can get me to 500 in 30 days, I'm sure that you can get me quicker the next month.
Yeah. So okay, so let's say we get you in 20 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got 500 at the start of the month, 500 at the end of the month, because there's 20 working days in the month, yeah? Right, Stevie, let's see, can we stagger this? Let's see, can we get you 500 day every 10 days? So it's like the Friday of the
But
first
now
week.
I need to be making money every day in
Well,
between.
you're tipping
as well.
away at your,
Yeah.
your
Yes.
regular level of income.
Yes.
But we're going to aim to get you. So I always pick the Friday. And the reason why I pick the Friday with the lads is they don't mind working a bit later on the Friday. Like, I've had lads that will do a double.
I'd like to get the lads that you work with because
Sorry, I misspoke there, right? The lads are happy to work later on a Friday if they're getting their 500.
okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's a very special day, right?
You're right.
And something happens and it goes wrong, they can finish it on the Saturday.
Okay.
Right? But we've a plan to get it, right?
Okay.
So ultimately you get lads to the point. This is about self-belief. This is about having a target and self-belief and following a plan. So you get him from 500 in a month to 500s in a month. Now he's getting one every fortnight. And let's see, can we figure that out to get that one every week?
Okay.
Now what he's doing is he's doing his day job Monday to Friday, and he's thinking, right, I'll tee this up for Friday, I'll tee this up for Friday. So as he's going about his business, implementing what I'm showing him, he's trying to tee up stuff for the Friday.
Okay.
Call comes in on a Monday.
But he still needs to be productive Monday to Thursday as well.
He's doing his job Monday to
Yeah.
Thursday on the same level of output, but he's now trying to get this super day every Friday.
Okay.
And he's following the plan.
Okay.
Now he's got one a week. Now if we get one a week, do you think we can get maybe 2 in one of those weeks, you know, and that's how it goes, right?
Okay,
And
but for that to happen,
Yeah.
you there has to be work. There has to be a supply of work,
there's a step by step that you have to follow. But
and not just that. And people will say, well, there's always been work. Even in the bust, there was work, especially up in Dublin. We were up there, but getting money was the problem. Money, the supply of money has to be there as well. You have to be very confident that you're going to get that money. Someone has to pay for it.
absolutely, but people are happy to pay.
Okay.
Like people are happy to pay. There's a saying that goes around the internet. You can have something quick, you can have it cheap, or you can have it good.
Mm.
So you pick two, but you can't have three. And that is a very, very, very true saying. So, for example, when I'm doing a deal, let's say I'm getting a building from A to B through planning permission and renovate or whatever. There's always delays with the planning permission. It might get kicked back by the council and it's going to take 4 or 5 extra weeks for this piece and then 4 or 5, right? So I've got a little strategy. You know, the council are always looking for different reports or something like that. I ring the relevant expert. I ask them for the report. They give me the time frame. They give me the price. They tell me that's the best they can do. I say, okay, if I give you an extra 1,000, can you get it for me this week? They get it for me on the Saturday. So what do? They go in on the Saturday and get the job done because they get an extra. Now, number one, I'm paying more for the report, whatever that may be, right? But secondly, I'm saving it because my building is getting completed quicker. So it's a constant case of calculating. You know, I know we had someone saying that I don't know the numbers or whatever. Listen, man, I am all over numbers at all times. But the key thing is once I start a project, it's finishing no matter what, because even if material costs go up or labour costs go up, there's nothing more expensive than a project not being completed and lying half idle.
Okay.
So if anything goes up in the cost,
Dead money.
you have to just finish it. You have to just get on with it, you know. So I am the sort of guy that I want things done good and quick, and I'm quite impatient. But I don't look for it done on the cheap. And any time that you go, like you go into, we'll just say, Lidl, it's not known as the premium of groceries. You can go in there and get something quick and cheap. You go over to Marks and Spencer's and you get something good and quick, but it won't be cheap.
Yes.
Everybody is experiencing this scenario multiple times per day, but they're just not aware of it.
Okay.
And that's the key thing. So if you are looking, like any builders or tradesmen listen to this will tell you, the people who haggle more are usually the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Because they're just penny pinching and they're looking for different things.
You have to have dealt with, because we've dealt with them in the West, and I'm sure there are a dime a dozen in Dublin. You have to have dealt with people that are hard to get money out of.
Oh, I had to take loads of people to court to get money out of them. Like in my building company, we done when I wrapped up the building company, we had done 2,750 individual repairs in people's houses.
Yes.
Throughout Dublin.
Okay.
Typical, 5 to 15 grand of a project, like some small enough,
Yes,
yes. But a large volume of them. And the best learning I ever got was we were dealing with this block of apartments that I think was 4 stories high, and it was there was two apartments by 4.
Yeah.
And the same damage had happened. Start at the top, came right down, water damage, and we were repairing them. And you know a kid's kind of doll house.
That's not your property.
No, not my property. I was the contractor here. But
Yes.
you know, like a kid's doll house, when you open up and you get to see inside the house. I had this little vision in my head that I could see inside every single person's life here. And they were all dealing with the exact same scenario, but they were all behaving completely different.
Okay.
Most of them were grand. Some of them are fucking nuisance.
Yeah.
You know? And I know the jobs they were in because I had to ask them. I know where they worked, and I'm like, I knew that some of them were social housing. Where you have to give a certain amount. And I learned that, like, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react to it.
Okay, yeah.
I had one
that's true.
person, she was a fucking torment. She was a journalist. She was sending reams of emails every night. And she was one of, like, 8 people we were dealing with. And the other fella was, like, a forklift driver. He got the apartment on the social housing. Oh, bother Joe, whenever you're ready, give us a shout. We had to go through due process with the insurance. But your woman that was the journalist was tipping the scale as one of the worst people we've ever dealt with.
Well,
and the forklift driver was the easiest guy.
You literally don't judge a book by its cover. When it comes to people, I mean, people will surprise you, both good and bad.
Yes, absolutely.
I would see people will say the 500 pound thing a day scenario does not happen in reality. I would love you to prove me wrong, and I'd love to think that it's happening. I've for someone that has worked for 20 years, you might get one day where you just got lucky, like you said, you made a few pounds on the material, you got the job done quicker, the weather went with you.
Right. Let me
everything like
let me
that.
share something with you. Right.
Okay.
On Thursday evening, it will be the 405th Thursday in a row, right? Where I've held a weekly session with 300 lads that are doing this. And I can show you the.
How do you mean a weekly session?
So basically, I have a weekly check-in session with all my clients.
Okay.
300 lads.
Physically?
No, it's an online thing.
Okay.
300, they send a report.
Okay.
You know, if anybody gets the book, they'll be able to get the sample report.
Okay.
And they send that to me every week. Now, there's 300 guys
In Dublin or around?
all over the country.
Okay.
A few of them in England, few dotted in Australia. All Irish lads, like the guys that's in like Australia and America and Canada, they're Irish as well. Not all 300 of them check in. We've probably got like a 40% check in rate there or thereabouts. No, it wouldn't be. Maybe about say 25 to 40% check in rate.
But not to say, it rotates, I'm sure.
Yeah, because they do a 6-month term with us. Yeah, but like the thing is like because this is my job. I've missed 3 of those in 400 and odd weeks. You know, and
Yourself.
yeah,
The Thursdays.
Yeah,
Have anyone step in?
No. Once I was sick.
Yes.
And I was so sick that
You're allowed to be sick.
I couldn't do it, and I was like so embarrassed. Once I got trapped in Istanbul airport.
Okay.
And I can't remember the other time I missed it, but I know I did miss one. So the next one is email reply session number 405.
Okay.
So 400.
Well, still not bad. Statistics: 3 out of 300.
And there's 104.
Or 404.
Yeah, there's 143 guys came in there to check in
Okay.
with their performance. You know, this is
Explain how it works from start to finish.
Well,
How do you get into this?
the
300 people. Is there ever any more than 300 people?
It's kind of fluctuates.
Okay,
you know, there or thereabouts. Like, you know, we've got a team of like trainers and myself and other trainers that manage them. And if you take on too many, sometimes like you're a bit slow getting back to people and the quality drops. So you just kind of manage at that. So when guys are leaving, that allows us to take somebody else on. You know.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Right.
But like, here's the thing, right? If I sat here or on any podcast saying this is how to get rich, people are like, wow, like let's have a look at this. This guy is rich, whatever rich means to them, or they wouldn't believe me. But let's say they did, right? And they would think that it's something that other people have to do, and it's something that they start tomorrow or the next day. Whereas, like, I've brought it down to an amount that's a real amount in their head. Now, they may not believe it's a real amount to earn, but it's a real amount of money. Like, so if I say to somebody, 50 million, that's just a line with zeros to them. It doesn't really mean anything to them other than, wow, I'll be sitting on a yacht in the Mediterranean, that sort of stuff. But when we bring it down to actionable amounts of money, it's like 500 quid in one 24-hour period. They get uncomfortable. So rather than them saying, no, it's up to them, like, you know, but rather than them saying, that's full of shit, it would benefit their future self more if they said, is that possible? You know, can I have a look at that a little bit more? Maybe it's true, rather than just jumping on the bandwagon. But you see, like when I grew up, I knew all about the them and us. Don't mind them, son. They're yuppies. Don't mind them. Some fucker in his big Merc. You know, all this sort of stuff. Yes. That's what, like, my dad would mind all them, you know. And I believed there was a them and an us, and we were in the council estates, and, you know, I still am rough as fuck when I'm talking at times. And, you know, I was at a meeting there recently, and I was effing and blind now, man. I was just being me, like, and then there was a woman there. I'm like, oh, Jesus, mortified. Then the next day, she's a real well-spoken, posh woman, and we're talking about business, and I'm rocking up like this, you know.
Listen, if you're getting the
but
figures,
it was me, like, you know.
Figures,
but like, you know, my upbringing was like them and us, you know. And then I got a little bit older, and I start becoming self-educating to these things. And then I realised there's not a them and us, that we're all born. You know, there's a great line in Full Metal Jacket where Gunnery Sergeant Hartman says, "You're all equally worthless," you know.
Okay,
brilliant, you know, right? But now I'm like, wow, there is a them and us, but the them and us is not what you have versus what you don't have. It's what you have in your head versus what you won't allow into your head. And the people who won't allow any possibility into their head, they are the 99%, unfortunately.
Well, it's the whole is the glass half empty or half full thing. I mean, that's just life. That's human.
But that's a choice.
That's human nature. It is a choice.
Yeah.
Some people are just pessimistic. Some people are optimistic.
Yeah.
And that's just.
I think pessimistic are more vocal because the optimists are out working, like, online.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
That's my thinking.
Yeah.
But it's just like people that see. if I was like well spoken, like there's a guy that I've got to know, and this guy is like the poshest guy in the world. He's worth an absolute fortune. Like if you've seen this guy, he is dressed to impress every minute of every day, you know. But if he said something, you'd listen to him and you believe him 1,000,000%, you know.
Okay.
And if somebody who sounded more working class like me or you said it, you'd probably struggle to listen.
That's
Well,
that
I've
depends.
seen it, like
yeah.
I see it happening, like, you know, and that's why I see people that are, you know, charismatic people, but not very skilled, getting a certain leg up over the
Okay.
less charismatic guy, but it kind of comes out in the wash then before too
Okay,
long.
yeah, of
and
course.
and I've got a little saying, I was like, just because someone's in charge doesn't mean they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And there's a few things you can kind of, a few little things you can kind of ask people, and
There's also a saying, what is it? You're not doing it wrong if no one knows what you're doing.
you're not doing it wrong if you're not. Right? Okay, yeah, very good. I had a mad thing before, right? So like, let me just pour myself a drink here.
Yeah.
Like again, so like obviously my dad was a big influence on me, give me the
Yes.
work ethic, but he had a certain point of view. He still was, like, you know. And listen, son, whatever you say fucking nothing. Talk
Okay.
to whoever you want about.
He wasn't in the rabbi in chance, was he?
Right? Whatever you say nothing. Talk to whoever you want. Talk to them about whatever you want, but don't tell the man. And this
Okay,
was my
yes,
thing, right?
Yes. Oh, I know an awful lot of people that can say an awful lot of stuff and not say anything at all at the same time.
So
Or speak an awful lot.
that was
but
my
not say
thing.
anything.
Never tell anybody nothing. So like, I was in the building game and people see my vans around the area. They knew I had a reasonable company, and they knew I owned the houses because they see me build them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is this still okay? Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And one day my uncle rang me, and I remember I was in the sitting room, and I was just after buying a house, you know. And how are you getting on there? Haven't been talking to you in a while. Oh, good. Just bought a new house. He's like, oh, really? Yeah. And then he didn't even acknowledge it, and he just went on and continued talking because
Okay, yeah.
he don't care.
Yes.
Right. And that's fine, right? A couple of weeks later, come here. Hope you don't mind me asking your business here now, but you told me you bought a house there, Joe. Yeah. Well, look, I had somebody there he's a taxi man. I had someone in the car there, and she was saying that she was looking to sell a house. Do you want to talk to her? I was like, yeah, no bother. So I went and I bought the house off her, you know.
Okay.
But then that was like, boom, at that exact moment I realised, tell everyone your business.
Okay.
Because it's not knowledge that's holding people back
Okay.
nowadays, it's the implementation of it. So that's why I tell everybody what I'm doing all the time,
Okay.
online.
Now we will talk about the online, because that's another stream of income for you. The
Yeah.
online itself. Can we ask how much it is to buy into it?
Yeah, it's 4K to 15K.
Okay. And how? Also, it's a scale. There's a scale to it.
It's either 4K or 15K. So
Okay, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. So
okay.
there's a different criteria for each one, like.
Okay, you'd want a lot of like. Do you give bang for your buck?
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, for example, if you want to join my 15K program, you
Mhm.
have to be coming in with £500,000 cash in the bank.
Okay.
That's it. If you don't have it, just go over here, do the 4K one, bang away for 12 months or so, come back in here then, and we'll have a look at that, you know.
Okay.
And that keeps me on my toes, because I'm
Okay.
dealing with sharp cookies
Right. Okay.
that already know what they're doing.
Well, I wish I was in a position to give someone 5K to bring me down and show me to make more money. Obviously, it's an investment. Or
Absolutely, yeah.
You believe it's an investment.
Yeah.
Would you have we'll say a good feedback from it?
Right. We've got a lot of hate online over the last few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice the complete and absence response, or the complete and utter absence of people saying they paid me money
Mm-hmm.
and I was an absolute pile of shit?
Mm.
Because there was 2 anonymous comments on my TikTok saying that, and I said, hey, would you like to tell us who you are, and we
Okay.
can look into it, because you're an anonymous account here.
Yeah, well, I know this from myself. An awful lot of anonymous accounts, so I will
Yeah.
agree with you on that. But there has to be some percentage of people that weren't happy with the service, or is it very low in your opinion?
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
it's very, very low. Like, because the entrance criteria is quite tough. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
you know, so if I think a fella's gonna fuck about, like, I'm not taking him in. Like,
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
you won't get it right all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I'll tell people, look, you're a drop-off risk here now as a direct result of what I can see
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Okay, no bother. And every single person who joins our program makes more money,
Okay.
right? Most of them will make 500 quid most days. But then
Would
when
you be
they,
confident in that? Like, I've no figures. I'm
oh,
not. I
I'll
don't have.
show you the videos
I don't have
there.
someone going to walk through the door and say, "Well, I'm asking you."
And you see, like, this was kind of like we were kind of touched on the previous podcast. This was something that kind of bothered me about the podcast the other day, right? Myself and the other individual were having a conversation. He was continually attacking my business principles.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mention anything about his business.
Okay.
And, like, as an entrepreneur, you have to respect the man's hustle,
Okay.
even if you don't respect him.
Okay.
You know, you don't attack a man's business. And that's why I have to defend when people are saying things like, you know, 10,000 people calling me a waffler. Not
Yeah.
one person can give me an example of one thing I said that wasn't true.
It's
you know?
just from experience, even my own experience. It is hard to believe that it is that not easy, because I'm sure it's not. That's not what you're saying. It's easy, but it's that achievable. You like even in the west of Ireland, there has been jobs that just didn't pay, but you still had to do them.
Let me tell you.
Or there's a lot of jobs that we done and places went bust.
Yeah, but
A lot of people were burnt and stung.
so this is the thing. Every time there's a beautiful book called Extreme Ownership. Like, you can change who you are as a person just by reading books, and nowadays listening to audios. You can learn so much, you know. And the most famous book on wealth creation is called Think and Grow Rich. Did you ever hear of that?
I think I might have. Did
So there's one line
Yeah,
out of that.
yeah.
Right, I'll just give you a little background
Yeah.
on that. The richest man in the world at the time was, or one of the richest was a man called Andrew Carnegie. You know Carnegie Libraries?
yeah,
Carnegie Trust Libraries?
yeah.
He hired a man in the 1920s, I believe, feel free to correct me on that, to spend a year going around and talking to the other richest men in the world
Okay.
to figure out what makes them different.
Would they be any relation to Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, Andrew Carnegie hired a man called Napoleon Hill for a 1-year project. Might have been 2 years, I believe it's 1 year, right? He had a letter of introduction from Andrew Carnegie to all the other rich people around the world, the Rockefellers and all. Right? I think he took 10 years to finish the project.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
And like, there's one line in that that just sticks out to me. I'm getting shivers thinking of it now, right? It's like, there is no cure for a lack of desire. That's the key thing. There is
Okay.
no cure for a lack of desire. So if you do not have the desire, there's nothing you can do. You know?
Yes.
And then it gives all these other principles. So Carnegie Trust, Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world, an orphan from Scotland, moved to America when the railway lines were getting built. He was in the steel industry. He spent so much money all over the world building libraries, because back then that's where the knowledge came from.
Okay.
I'm sure Carnegie Hall has got to do it as well.
Yeah.
But there's a Carnegie Trust library in Clondalkin, like, you know.
Right.
He built them. He paid for them, you know, in whatever
Okay.
the start of the century, you know. But you can change so many things. But
that would have been philanthropy. At
yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
absolutely. So, like, for me, like Think and Grow Rich, everybody would know it. But extreme ownership, like, just think of that, extreme ownership.
Okay.
You know, you're driving from Dublin to Galway, you're an hour late because you got a puncture. It's your fucking fault. You should have dealt with it by leaving a bit earlier. You should have been a
Okay.
bit more prepped.
Right. Okay.
Extreme ownership, you know. Yeah, you have to adapt an approach where you are responsible
Okay.
for everything in your life, as much as it's fucking ridiculous in practical terms. When you take extreme ownership,
By that sense, that's the logic of, if you're not early, you're late.
yeah, 100%. You know, but I like it. Like, I read Extreme Ownership. I listened to it, actually, didn't read it twice. And they give like a business scenario and the guys were Navy SEALs in Iraq, you know.
Okay.
And I don't remember any of the fucking business things, because they're telling the story about battles of Fallujah and all that,
Yes,
you know.
yes, yes.
And some people will hate it, but I liked it. But the term extreme ownership,
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
You know, as in, I've got it when I heard the phrase extreme ownership. It's not that I've got it when I've read the book or listened to the book. Now I have it.
Okay.
I'm responsible for everything in my life. You know, that empowers you to fix it.
That's a brilliant business ethos and everything like that. But you have to enjoy life as well. What do you do to? It can't be all, or is it all business?
Oh man, like work is more fun than fun to me now.
Okay.
Like, it's fucking solid, like, you know.
Right. Okay.
Like, one of my key men came in to me and he said, Joe, I'm just looking at the payroll register here for the last whatever 12 months or 24 months. He's like, we've had like, I don't know, 40 people hired and fired. I'm like, lovely. Got them out of the way.
Okay.
We're closer to finding another superstar like you,
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
And I've got like a small team of absolute superstars.
Okay. Well, you obviously have a good team behind you,
The best.
and that is important as well.
Crucial.
Yes.
You need a good team when you go home at the end of the day. And you need a good team when you go to the office.
Yeah.
You can't do it on your own.
Okay.
You know, and
But you had to build that up as well. That didn't just fall into your lap.
Oh no. Like the maddest one was like my daughter's partner.
Yeah.
Leon, like it was mad, like, you know. So my daughter, she's 20 at this stage. She has a boyfriend. All right.
And he's still alive.
He's from Crumlin. I didn't meet him, right?
All right.
Right,
Okay.
Right. So Linda, my missus, absolute legend, says Demi has a boyfriend. All right. He's from Crumlin. Oh, fuck. Right. Right. So first time I get to see him at the 21st, he obviously knew me or knew of me.
Mhm.
I knew him. I goes up to him, super polite. How's it going? I'm Demi's dad. Oh, how's it going? I'm Leon. I know, right? And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I meant to think something, but I said it. I was like, how much you pay for that t-shirt, right? Because you're an apprentice electrician at this stage. I'm like, you don't get that on a fucking apprentice wage. I'm just thinking the worst about the guy, you know?
Okay.
So what does a business owning entrepreneur say to anybody? If you're ever going, boy, drop in. If you want to learn how the property game works, drop in, you know? A week later, this fucker rocks up to the office, like, you know? It's only my second time to see him.
Yeah.
And, excuse the language, right?
No.
He rocks up to
Don't
the
worry about
office.
language.
And I finish work at, everybody finishes at 6, I finish at 7. He rocks up at 6. Now, you can't show anybody anything in an hour,
Yeah,
it
of
takes
course.
longer. So I'm there to like 8:30, showing this fucker just stuff that he's not going to listen to, you know?
Okay.
No, brother, Phil, you know where I'm at? Give me a shout anytime. Next day he's up again, like, you know?
Okay. He's eager.
Right. He's useless.
Oh.
And he's at this point, because he
Yes.
knows nothing. He's an
Okay.
apprentice electrician.
Yeah. Willing
I'm
to learn,
teaching
though.
about online business, sales, property. He's helped me feed the chickens. He's grilling me about absolutely everything. I'm just talking to him. I'm happy, you know. Didn't mind 2 nights. Linda, I'll be home late. I'll get me dinner later on. Leon's
Okay.
here. Fair play, you know. This guy just kept coming up. So I'm like, listen, man. I have to go home. Like I'm here like every night, like till 9:30. I'm not seeing the kid. Like there's the phone. Ring the people. I'm going home.
Okay.
And he was there, and he just started ringing people
Okay.
and ring him. He is an absolute fucking rock star.
Okay.
He is by far the best man that I could ever have in that position right now. And it just fluke like that. It was my daughter's
Okay.
partner, you know. I don't have any sons, right?
All right. Okay.
And it's mad, like, because in the property game, people made bits of money or lots of money or whatever, and then a lot of them lost it, and then some of them got again, and you bump into a fella, you see him that you haven't seen him in 10 years, he's still in the game. Oh, you're ugly too, fuck that, you know. See her, but I remember I reconnected with this guy. I hadn't spoken to him in like 10 years, you know, and he's a deeply religious fella, and we're chatting away, and I told him that story, and he's like, God sent him to you. He's the son that you never had, you
Long
know.
may it last.
And I'm laughing at him, like, saying, would you fuck off? Like, I'm like, you know what? He's fucking dead right.
Yeah.
He's dead right, you know. So of all the family, I think me and him get on better than anybody else, like, you know.
That being said, would you think loyalty is, say, arrows that you need in a group of people?
Yeah, like Linda does know when I'm about to take somebody out of the circle.
Okay.
Because I'm not a chopping and changing guy. If I take you in, you're in, or you will make more money with me than you make anywhere else,
Okay.
providing you do what you say you can do,
Okay.
you know. And like, you know, Linda will hear me on the phone to a fella, and he be saying something to me, and I'll tell him what I want him to know, even if he doesn't want to know it, you know.
Yes.
Well, I'm usually very diplomatic, like,
Yes.
you know. And then sometimes she'll hear me just being super nice with people. And she's like, why are you not? I'm done with him.
Okay. You're checked out.
That's it, he's gone. But he doesn't know. He fucking know the next job, and he's not getting it, like, you know.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
he's busting me chops, he's overcharging, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, or all these different things. I just don't argue. I'm just,
Okay.
it's fine, man. You know.
Yes.
You know, because like we have this conversation all the time in the office. Like, people pay substantial amounts of money to me because of how I do what I do.
Okay.
You know, and some of them like it and they pay the money, and some of them don't, and they leave comments, and that's fine, you know.
Okay.
But everybody who becomes a client likes what we do and respects what we do.
Okay.
And then I have to conduct myself in a certain way to show leadership
Of course.
to these people.
And you
know?
have to, being the face of it, you have to take them comments and that. Hate isn't the word I'm looking for, but that.
It is hate because just calling somebody a name
Yeah.
without doing any due diligence
Yes.
is
Of course.
just
okay.
it's just knuckle dragging.
Well, yeah. Well,
behaviour,
that's just commenting. It's very easy to
Yeah.
make a comment online without backing
it's
it up.
but it's quite unfortunate. Like it's sad for them because there has never been a better time to make money.
Okay.
In my, I like if somebody rings my office.
Well, I'll ask the question
Yeah.
now. Is the country in a position to make money?
Well, you see, yes, I believe so.
You do?
But you see, we were
More as good as 2002, 3, 4.
okay. So we were
Is the
kind of.
potential there?
Let me say this to you: we were following a timeline of my career there, and we spoke about when things went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I made like a massive amount of money in the depth of the recession in a very short space of time, because the same thinking that I used to stop buying houses because it just didn't make sense was then the same thinking that made me go and buy more houses when they were like ridiculously low prices. You know, I'll have to put there'll be people searching the price register and all now. But if they do, that's good. You know, but it's a thought process, I believe. You know, like when you think of it, everybody is complaining about. Like, just think of the contradiction. Everybody's complaining about the price of everything, and everybody's saying that they can't make any money. Surely it's easy to make money when everything's more expensive than when everything's cheap. There's somebody making money. There's somebody.
Someone definitely is making money.
People are making money all the time. Like,
Yeah.
But you have to have the right outlook on it. You know, just be very careful where you get your information.
I'd consider myself an optimistic person, but I do know how hard it is. I wish it was as easy as you say it is to make money, or the opportunities are there to make money as much as you do.
Like come here.
I want to believe it.
Don't think it's easy, because
Yeah.
it's absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
Right? But when you've got a big enough goal
Okay.
and a big enough dream and a big enough desire, everything else is secondary to that.
Okay.
You know, like I've
What
got.
did they say? If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Absolutely. I broke one of my own rules there in the last few weeks, like, and I was fucking snapping at it, you know. I made a video on my TikTok, standing outside a property that was for sale. And I said, they say you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to miss this shot because I'm not taking it. And I want to build a school, like, you know. I just like to build an education centre to help for entrepreneurship, you know. And I 100% blatantly broke my rule because I should have just had a go at it.
Okay.
Didn't mean I was going to get it, but I should have had a go.
Okay.
So, like, that was my lesson. The universe said, don't fucking do that again to me, you know.
Right. That's fair enough. Because, like, what you're saying is that you're nearly like a philanthropist yourself in a smaller scale than, we'll say, Carnegie. When you talk like that, but can you understand then why social media there are people like that that'll question that?
I don't mind anybody questioning anything.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even mind them leaving comments. I don't care.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do in business is be ignored. So the worst thing that can happen to you is you be ignored, you know. Like, look, I spoke to someone there today. Like, they're putting together the local Paddy's Day parade.
Okay.
You know, he says, do you want to make a donation? How much do you want? I says, how much do you need, you know? Don't ask me that, he says, because I'll tell you the highest amount. Like, okay, no bother. And I go and do it, and I support that. And
Okay.
I always do little bits like that. You have to help those around you. But you see, you have to help yourself first. You know, that's the key thing.
Okay.
And
as I said many times on this podcast, you can't pour from an empty cup or a jug.
No. And you know the whole time, put your own gas mask on first on the plane. Like, you know, like if you actually have a conversation with somebody that's not clued into that concept, with a woman, right? And you say, now, if you're on a plane, like, what would you do? And she, no, I'd put the kids on first.
Yeah,
No, you can't. No, I would. Well, like, how many kids do you have? 3. Okay, so you'd get it onto 2, and then you're dead, and the other kid's dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But what if the 2 kids collapse by the time? Well, they will collapse, but when you put it back on, you'll revive them.
Yes.
And people just don't think about.
Oh
things.
yeah, 100%.
You know, it's just crazy. You know,
Yeah.
but like what I would love, for people to take from this podcast is just to understand that, like, success, whatever everybody's individual definition of success is available to everybody. You know, it is available to absolutely everybody, but you just have to
Believe it.
You have to want it. Yeah, and
Okay.
you have to go at it, like, you know. And you like you hear people saying like, oh yeah, just put it out to the universe and all, and the law of attraction. Like,
Yeah.
you think the law of attraction works? Why don't you see the law of busting your chops for something? That will work,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yes.
even more. That's my kind of belief on it. So like I'm on this mission for 100 million quid. You know,
Okay.
it's literally scratched into the concrete at my house.
Will Will you get it?
May 2032.
Okay.
So I'll be either very embarrassed in May
Okay.
2032, or else
But listen, even if you're halfway there, you won't be embarrassed.
when you see there you go. So isn't that the thing? The target has to be so big, you know,
Yes.
and then you start making a plan.
Aim for the moon. Even if you miss, you land among the stars.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
What's the rest of 2026? And there's a large portion of it left.
it's just going to be more the same.
Okay.
Just keep training tradesmen.
Okay.
Just keep.
If you had a choice of the building trade that you have, the actual building operation that you have,
Yeah.
or the school that you have, if you call it a school, or the business module that you have, which would you give up quicker?
Okay, so the school, it will be like a not for profit, and that's not set up
No,
yet.
not
Yeah.
not school, but actually the
training program,
the training program,
the
yeah.
education business or the
Yeah.
property business.
Yeah.
If I had to give up one, or like if I had to wave a magic wand on which one I want to be, where
Yes.
it would have to be the real estate, the property, because
Okay.
the education business works because of me and a small group of highly skilled people.
Okay.
The real estate business works because people always need somewhere to live, you know, in
Yes,
that
okay.
sense. And it's easy to create generational wealth
Oh, okay.
in the property business, where it's going to be very difficult to create it in the education business.
Okay, I get you.
There's no, I don't believe there's much value in that itself.
Okay.
Whereas I could cash out the properties any days.
Yeah,
any
okay.
day, you know, well, obviously within, not as quick as you'd like to think you could, but you
I
could
get you.
exit within 12 months. Like,
I'm actually going to keep one of them books. And I'm going to listen to it. You've plans to write another one?
yeah, the next one is nearly finished.
Oh, it's
there.
nearly finished.
Yeah, it's just to
Excellent.
put little bits in it. So like what I done like with that book was like I just gave loads of shout outs to loads of lads that I know and that done well and stuff like
Okay.
that in it. And I've done the same again, but it's very fucking hard because I want them to put their paragraphs in, and you have
Yeah.
to get the, you know,
Yeah.
whereas I can just lock myself in the room for a certain amount of time and the book will be written. But I wanted to get little case studies and testimonials from a lot of the boys,
Okay.
and now I have to put them together. So that was the piece. But look, it would be, I won't say, look, it should be out by now, but it's called Getting to 500 a day.
Okay.
You can reserve on my website anyways.
Yeah. When it comes out, let us know, and
Oh,
we'll give it another shout out. We'll
send you a copy down by your email.
absolutely.
And then the book after that is called Your First 5 Houses.
Okay. The book. Oh, you've already another
Yeah.
one planned. Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
But it's the journey. Getting
Okay,
to 500
yeah.
a day, and then your first 5 houses.
Right, that'll do.
That's the key thing.
Joe Doyle, it's been a pleasure having you here in the Zero Bucks Given podcast studio, and thank you very much for joining us. Where can we find you? Instagram, TikTok?
Instagram, Joe Doyle Entrepreneur. On my website, joedoyle.ie. Facebook, anywhere, Joe Doyle Entrepreneur. You'll catch me there. If anybody that's listening like wants any reports, or any templates, or any training videos on the operating system, just tell me to just Google. Just send me a message. 0 bucks, and
Yeah.
I know they came from here.
Okay, very good.
And we give them something then that can get them on their way.
Excellent. Joe, thank you so much. And listen, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to this podcast. Go check out Joe. Please subscribe to the Zero Bucks Given podcast platform, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this. If you enjoyed it, as always, tell everyone about it. If you didn't enjoy it, tell absolutely no one. And until the next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay away from yourself. Good luck.